Hello, my name is Rochelle Spencer and I am married to Dave Spencer, and we are here today to share some of the knowledge that we have picked up along the way on our marriage.
We've been married long enough to know that marriage is not easy. In fact, there are lots of ups and downs, and there are times when you feel elated and you thank the Lord for the wonderful wife that He gave you, and then there are other times when you don't know why you ever got married.
I used to often wonder to myself, and I even said it to Dave a time or two, why did God create marriage? Why would He take two such different human beings and put them together and expect them to have a Garden of Eden experience? Well, we don't, as we all know we don't. And one day while listening to a Focus on the Family talk, the speaker said something that really spoke to me. And he said that marriage was created for us to reflect the love of Christ with His church, to His church, in His church, with each other. And so marriage is for us to grow more like Jesus.
One of the insights that I received from Stephen Covey, you've probably heard of him as a writer, is about a hiker who goes into the forest and he's going on this walk, and he wants to find a nice long walking stick. And in amongst the leaves, he sees part of a straight stick sticking out, and he picks it up only to find that the other half of the stick is all crooked. And this he uses as an illustration of marriage, that when you marry somebody, half of the stick is straight, but half of it is all crooked. And the way we understand that in our marriage is that one characteristic has a straight side and it may also have a crooked side. For example, Rochelle knows that I am quite organized and methodical and I plan. But that can be quite annoying for her, because then I want to plan when we have dates and plan when we have time together in a way that cuts out spontaneity. So yeah.
Yes, that's true. And then I also obviously have many characteristics that have a straight side and a crooked side. And I know one of the reasons Dave says that he was attracted to me in the first place is that I'm expressive. And he loves that expressiveness when it's positive. But when that expressiveness is negative, he doesn't appreciate it so much. It's the same characteristic, the same stick, just the straight side and the crooked side.
So sometimes we wish we only had a straight stick, that there was no crookedness in the stick. But you can't get rid of the crookedness. You can't actually change your spouse. I think most of us try incessantly to change each other, or whatever the situation is, but we can't change each other, and that's something that we've realized and come to terms with.
Well, we've realized it. I don't know how to terms I've come with it, but I am coming to terms with it. I think the older you get, the more you realize nothing is really going to change. And the sooner you make peace with that, the better. The better for yourself and the better for your spouse. I know I'm a teacher on the Myers-Briggs character analysis. I'm also an INFJ, so I'm an idealist, and I want to change people. I want to change the world. And I've realized I'm not going to change Dave. So the Lord has taken me on a journey of acceptance and making peace with that. So my strategy for dealing with the fact that I cannot change Dave and that crooked part is always going to be there is for me to focus on the good, on the straight, to appreciate that, say it in front of the children. So in other words, just building him up and focusing on the positive rather than the negative. And another strategy that I've put into practice is something I learned from a TV pastor called Pastor Jimmy Evans, and that is to pray a prayer of blessing over your spouse. So regularly, every night, I pray a prayer of blessing over my husband, and I thank the Lord for him. I thank the Lord for the positive qualities, and I ask God to bless him and to honor him. And then, like, at night it's easy to do that, but when you're in the heat of the moment sometimes, I have to step back, and in my mind I close my eyes and I say, Lord, thank you for this husband you've given me. Help me to appreciate him and help me to really focus on the good in him and to try and ignore the bad in him. So those are my two strategies.
Yeah, that strategy definitely helps. I think my strategy is also realizing that people don't change. We don't change. The sooner you realize that people don't change, the better. So you make the most of the situation. For example, in our case, we try and have regular time together. We've also tried to learn skills along the way. We've been to many marriage seminars, listened to marriage talks, bought CDs or DVDs, and those have all helped us.
When you choose a partner, you choose a set of problems. And that's quite disconcerting if you have the Cinderella, Prince Charming picture of marriage in your mind. But when you've been at it for a few years, you realize that is actually the truth. And he says that 69% of our issues will never be resolved. And
that's quite disconcerting.
But he says the difference between the masters and the disasters is the way you repair, the way you deal with conflict, the way you turn back towards each other. And I want to bring Jesus in here, and I want to say the way we forgive, the way we exhibit those fruits of the Spirit within our marriage, that is how we will be able to repair, and we will be able to be masters at our marriage relationships.
We all realize that, as we've said, that marriage has ups and marriage has downs. I often think of this as a W. That when you first meet, you're feeling high up there and everything seems idyllic, and you're sure that your marriage is going to be better than everybody else's marriage. And then once you settled in, you start to dip. And then you realize that things go up again, and then there will be times that it goes down, and it shapes the shape of a W. When we get to that low point, we can actually see that as an exit point, where that's the time when a couple may say, I'm sick and tired of this, I can't live like this anymore, I want out, I want to find a better person, not realizing that that better person is also going to have a crooked side of the stick. And the most important thing for us has been to realize that even though there are downs, hang in there, keep close to the Lord, keep on relying on the Lord, and He will lift you up again.
Correct, yes. And we have decided that we are stuck with our sticks. We are stuck with each other, and we want it to be that way.
So what I'd like to leave with you today is that although marriage is imperfect, although marriage can be difficult at times, although you sometimes battle to understand the opposite gender, if you persist and if you have perseverance and you keep on working on your marriage, then God helps you to have fulfillment. I think the film stars really miss out when they keep on hopping to a different partner and they don't have that maturity and that deep love and acceptance of each other that an enduring marriage brings. And so Rochelle and I want to say thank you to the Lord for keeping us together for these years and for helping us to find fulfillment in one another's love.
And to encourage our viewers to also stick it out, to realize that God created marriage for a good purpose. And you'll realize that He will help you to succeed. He hasn't left you alone. on this planet, and He hasn't left you alone in your marriage. So we pray that you will carry on and that He will also bless you and help you to succeed in this long-term, this marathon called marriage.